Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Emily Hiles, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Corporal Jeanette McNeely. We're honoured to acknowledge Colonel Susan Newhouse, retired, member of the Council of the Australian War Memorial. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament. Flowers of the forest, wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Alexander John Porter. Alexander Porter was born in Townsville, Queensland on the 21st of January 1907, the son of James and Mary Porter. He grew up in Townsville amidst a large family. He went on to work as a clerk and grocer and undertook compulsory service with the Citizens' Forces. Porter married Alice Brubben on the 8th of July 1936. In July 1942, 35-year-old Alexander Porter was mobilised for service. In August, he began work at the Red Bank Reception Depot, located near Ipswich, west of Brisbane. Red Bank Camp was one of the largest military bases in Queensland, catering to thousands of men, containing mess rooms, kitchens, a hospital, a barber, a library and an entertainment area. The camp consisted of members of all branches of the Army, as well as playing host to American troops. All of these people had to be fed, which was Porter's job. In December, he was graded as a cook. Early the following year, he was evacuated to hospital, suffering from burns to his left leg, most likely in an accident relating to his work. In November 1943, Porter was attached to the 13th Supply Personnel Company, located at Anoonba, Australian Army Personnel Staging Camp, used for Australian Army personnel on their way to New Guinea. The camp had been built in the Meatworks holding paddock between Anoonba School and the Anoonba Animal Health Station in Townsville. Having suffered some medical issues, Porter was assessed by a medical board on at least 2 occasions. His health appeared to be deteriorating, and doctors made note of constitutional issues. In December 1944, Porter suffered a carbuncle on his left wrist, an annoying, if somewhat minor medical ailment. Porter's next medical issue was far more serious. On the 27th of August 1945, he suffered an intracranial hemorrhage caused by a ruptured aneurysm of the circle of Willis, an important junction of arteries at the base of his brain. He passed away that day. He was 38 years old. Porter's remains were buried at Townsville War Cemetery alongside more than 200 burials of the Second World War. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left amongst more than 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. A photograph of his headstone is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Alexander John Porter, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director and staff, thank you for visiting the memorial today and for your continued support of the memorial's redevelopment project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.